anything other than what they are. We're not here making fun. We're not here trying to devalue anybody. We're just here to find value in ourselves. So tonight I want to talk about the dark hacks of psychology, the dark psychology that the narcissists don't want you to know that they use on you. Yep, it's true. Narcissists have a way about them, don't they? They do, don't they? They have a way about them, and they don't want you to know their tricks. Ow. Hang on, I'm just lighting my candle here. Sisters are gifts. All right. So, hello, CA. Nice to see you. Welcome. Come on in. It's good to see you. Hope things are okay. Hope you're doing well. All right, so narcissists don't think deeply, not in the way empathetic, self-reflective people do. Hello, Resistor. Nice to see you. Welcome, everyone. Hi. So, narcissists don't think deeply. Not like we do. We like to, dig deep, get soulful. But the narcissists, no. They're superficial people. They don't reflect. And they lack depth. And what they lack in depth, they actually compensate for in observation. They watch you like a hawk with a hawk's eye, and they try to look at those surface level patterns that you have. Hang on a sec. I just got to make sure my phone cord is close by. Just in case just in case we run out of battery. We're at 74%, so we're doing good, but just in case. So it's here. All right. So, I was thinking about this today, and I know, obviously I wear glasses, and so my eyesight isn't that great, but I got a nose like a bloodhound. Oh, I can sniff things out where other people are like, I'm not smelling that. You're not smelling that? I can smell electricity in the air, can smell rain, can smell rotten eggs, sulfur, skunk, you name it. I can smell it. And it gets right up in my nose, like it just gets in there, and it's bothersome. So the reason why I'm saying that is because where we lack inabilities in one area, our body, compensates in another area. So my sense of sight is not the greatest, but my sense of smell is heightened because of my lack of eyesight. Well, not lack of eyesight, poor eyesight, excuse me, don't want to put that on myself. So I'm thinking that maybe because the narcissist, they lack, the capacity to go deep. Their brain just doesn't filter through. They filter out, but they can't filter through empathy. So they compensate, and they are very astute, very good at spotting things on the superficial. And it makes sense if you're stuck in this hypervigilance and self-protective mode all day long, every day long, for the rest of your life. You're going to look to you're going to scan your area. You're going to scan and see what's a threat and what's not. So I can understand how the narcissist is superficial. So here's some things to keep in mind when you're in the company of someone who intentionally intentionally wants to use you against yourself, basically. They don't adapt, they mimic, exactly. So narcissists, they track your tone. They track your voice. They track your tonality. They track your word choice, your facial expressions, and your body language. So here's what I would do. As I've done this, I've switched up my body language where the guy couldn't figure out if I was into him or not, because I just, I'd lean into him, at certain times, and then I'd lean back and, oh yeah, really? Oh, that's so cool. And then I'd close myself off. And his mother was a psychoanalyst, so he knew all of this stuff. So I knew he knew this stuff, and I was just like, oh, no. We're testing you to see if you're a narcissist. You're not going to get that close. And I could tell I was throwing him off balance. It was like, it was pretty cool to be in control of myself until I wasn't. All it took was that first kiss. Dang it, all to heck. I was done after the first kiss. I was just like, boom, boundaries gone. And then I got hurt. So yeah. So they know. So switch up your body language, keep them guessing. Don't get too comfortable. Don't get too comfy with the things that they say and the tone and the laughter. Look in their eyes. Look to see if they are actually fake laughing or they are actually engaged with their eyes. Are they smiling with their eyes? So keep your voice professional sounding. Stay direct and to the point until you feel comfortable to let them in. Don't stray away too long in a register. It might give them the impression that you're attracted to their company. So pick your, maybe practice in a mirror, because pick your opportunity wisely, because it is known that our neurons, our mirror neurons gravitate, and our brain cells just gravitate to the low voice register. So if you talk like women, especially if we talk in a low voice, hello stranger, that really gets some guys just, and with women too, we like men's deep voices. So it's natural to make your voice go low when you're interested. Yeah, tell me more. It's like, whoa, so just watch out for that. Watch what you're doing. Watch how you're conducting yourself, because it's fun. It's fun to get involved, but when you don't know who you're dealing with, don't let your boundaries down. Please don't. So, hi Joe, how you doing? It's all about that kiss. Exactly. Kiss of death. Exactly. Yeah, brings you to your knees, right? Oh boy. Oh boy. Whatever. Moving on. So, the narcissist also gets a read on your habits, your preferences, your insecurities through repetition and association. So, they like to know what's your, what kind of things do you do? Like, do you have a course of your day? Like, do you have all your day mapped out, or are you spontaneous, or what do you do? Like, if you go to work at 5 o'clock every afternoon, well, then they're gonna notice that, because sometimes they might even spontaneously surprise you or call you at work at 5 in the afternoon, or pick you up to drive you to work. So yeah, just be careful of the questions that they're asking. So, and also I gotta say this, please keep your hands to yourself. Keep that distance between you and the narcissist. Don't let them put their hand on your hand, or your arm, or your shoulder, or your knee, and, oh, you're so funny. And don't even do that with them, because as soon as you touch them, they're gonna say, oh, I've got an in. So keep your hands to yourself. Keep them folded, keep them in your pockets. You know, don't play with your hair. Yeah, I go to work every day at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and after work, my 8 hour shift. You know, I try to go to the gym before I go to work or go home after work, and you know, no, don't do that. Don't fidget, and certainly do not apologize for any habits. You know, like if you accidentally bump them, you know, underneath the table, you actually bump them with your foot. I mean, that's okay to say, oh, I'm sorry, you know, but saying sorry because you're might be in their way. You know how we just have this polite sorry? Canadians are notorious for it. We're in each other's way and we just, sorry. Stop doing that. Stop saying sorry all the time. Stop apologizing. Just let things happen naturally, and because the narcissist can pick up on your nervousness, and they can pick up on that where you're insecure about yourself. So practice. If you got to go to a business meeting or something, or you're going on a date, or you're visiting the family from hell, practice in a mirror. You know, even family members can make us, you know, go squirrely. Hello, Cynthia. Nice to see you. Welcome. Family members can make us go squirrely and make us absolutely freaking nervous. You know, it's like, oh my gosh, I can't believe my cousin is coming over. My cousin has this girlfriend and she just blah, 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 blah. And she just makes me so, she's nitpicky. You know what? Try to work that out before you visit her or visit the family. Do some, you know, just talk it out with God. Put yourself in front of your mirror and talk it out. And God this is, you know, can I use you to prepare? Like, what do I need to do before I go to this family get together? Because I'm so nervous. Can you help me? Because I know you said that not to worry about what to say because you'll give me what to say, but I know I'm insecure. She intimidates the heck out of me, God. Can you please help me? You know, just practice. I guarantee you narcissists are practicing in the mirror as much as they can. They look at themselves more often than you think. They admire themselves in the mirror and they practice in the mirror. Every time they do their grooming, shaving, combing their hair, brushing their teeth, putting on their tie, you know, looking all spiffy, you know, they're practicing. You better believe they are. So why can't we? Why can't we? Because it makes us feel uncomfortable to talk to ourselves in the mirror. Talking to yourself in the mirror is how you get to know yourself. And that's how the narcissist knows themselves. She keeps total composure, calmly eating with her eyebrows raised. Oh, you too? My foster mother used to sit across from me at the dinner table, and she would stare at me while we ate. We all ate. And she would stare me down. And she was usually the first person to finish. I was usually the last. So she would have her cigarette at the table and blow the smoke right in my face as I ate and just stare me down. And I've got these little doe eyes like, you know, like so scared. So, and then she had this lazy eye to boot. So when she stared at you, she looked doubly evil. So she was so cruel and judgmental, humiliated me. We were having lighthearted fun. After I gave her 3 rides today and cooked a nice meal, she turned on me. It came out of nowhere. That's supply. Yeah, that's supply, girl. Yeah, you're having fun. Isn't it just like the narcissist? You're having fun. You're smiling. This is the perfect trauma bonding. This is the perfect setup for trauma bonding. So, yeah. So, yeah. No, it's, you know, it's control. She said that you like being a victim or she likes being a victim. Wow, that's a very narcissistic thing to say. Sorry to say that, but that's true. Like that's just very controlling. And next time she says that, you know what? Don't assume to know what you think. You know, you're entitled to think of you're entitled to think what you want of me, but don't assume that you know me. And don't assume that you know my pain. Mm. No, she likes being the victim. Okay. So, wow. I'm so sorry, girl. You know, this is just telling you, this is showing you that you can't trust. You can't trust her. That anything good that comes out of a relationship, she just, sidelines. So if you got to spend time with her, keep it superficial. Keep it superficial. Guard your heart. Guard your heart against your own child. I'm sorry to hear that, but that's what you got to do. You got to, um, just don't allow her to take, like, that's the thing I've noticed with narcissists, sorry, narcissists. I've noticed for myself that I was genuine in the good times. I was genuine all throughout the relationship with the narcissist. So if you can understand that you were genuine and that wasn't fraudulent, so you get to hang on to those memories that you have with them, and just that's part of your story too, and you're allowed to hang on to it. You don't have to dismiss it, but they're trying to dismiss it, and they're trying to um, get the upper hand and get control because they don't understand. Like, okay, people, when you're used to negativity, and this person, Cynthia, is, especially with the company that they're keeping, it is negative. So it's the brain has to get that negative fix. And there's a repeated pattern. There's a trauma bond that she has formed with her other person. And that trauma bond says to her that anything good that happens is going to be taken away. So she's now in protective mode to protect that goodness and protect herself. So she's sabotaged. She's sabotaged because she doesn't know you, doesn't trust you, doesn't trust herself, doesn't know herself, and she's trusting negativity because she's trauma bonded to somebody else who is hurting her. So that's my take on it. So she has also started ignoring me in the car when I'm giving her rides. She puts headphones on. Let her do it. Let her do it. And just act like it doesn't even bother you, because that's what she wants. She wants it to bother you. So, and I would stop giving her rides. Personally, if you do what you want, but you know what you can, and like the consequences that you have to deal with if you don't help her out. You know your situation better than anybody else, but it might be time to even consider, I can give you a ride to work, but I can't pick you up, or I can drop you off, here and there, but I'm busy. Just make yourself busy. So Yeah, you got to protect yourself, girl, because this is going to be the way of your life if this continues. This is what's going to happen. She's showing you that there is going to be no change. And if this continues, you already went through a lifetime with it with your ex, right? So she's seems like she's just kind of picking up where the other person left off. And, the sad thing is that she went through some important information with you, and that has seemed to have been forgotten. So that lets you know that prepare yourself, because it might be used against you later on. And she might, not saying that she will, but I'm putting it out there, because keep things that matter to you private, because the information that you guys worked on together, going through some information of your past, that might be used. She might divulge information to somebody else, and it might be used against you later on. So thank you very much, CA. No, I'm not Lebanese. No, I'm not Russian. No, I'm not Middle Eastern. I'm not Italian. I am Hungarian and Czechoslovakian and Welsh. That's my heritage. So, yeah. But thank you. But, yeah, like, hi, Rania. Nice to see you. Yeah, so Cynthia, exactly. See, you can see that she's picking up where the relationship with you and her dad left off. So now it's like you have to assess this, and it's like, is this what I want for the rest of my life? Because this is what it's going to be for the rest of my life. And I'm learning to love myself just so that I can forsake myself, because my child needs, no, she's an adult. She can make her own decisions. And, at the end of the day, it's you who looks after you, you and Jesus who look after you. She's not going to be there when you need her. Who's going to be there when you need somebody? You need to find a circle of friends and hang on to your friends and those who dearly love you. And I'm not saying just let your, daughter go, but, she needs to be in an emotional timeout. Stop giving her access to you and spending time with her and giving her what she wants, because you unknowingly are giving her supply. Because for her to turn on you like that, that's just nasty pool, man. That's just nasty. That's just rude. That's ungrateful. That's irreverent. That's just wrong, and we know that. And but you're not the target for her feelings, so don't make yourself a target. Yeah. So yeah. So this is the second time I've heard this, Shannon. Yeah, I'm sorry you're going through this, girl. Really, like, this is it's not right. It's not right. And I know it's hurtful, and I know I can't even imagine the stress that this is bringing to you and how confused you must feel. This is your flesh and blood, and she's young, so all we can do is pray that, she sees the truth and she gets her act together. But, kids have to fall on their faces. I mean, I left home when I was 17, and my foster mother said, "When are you coming to pick up your clothes?" Like, there was no begging. There was no begging to come back. There was no love lost there. It was, you leave, you're done, bye. And I didn't even get all my stuff. I didn't even get all my belongings, like pictures and toys. And you know, just little mementos and stuff. All that stuff got left behind. My clothes were packed for me when I came and got them, but that was it. Anything else that belonged to me, nothing. No, it was all tossed. So I didn't have family members, and I have to say, you know, there's many people who are on the streets. Like kids leave home and they end up on the streets, and they learn they have to have their rock bottom. And we've had our rock bottom. I mean, look it, we've been traumatized by the narcissist, we've been left, we've been abandoned. And we can't abandon people because we know what it's like to feel abandoned. But goodness, they bring it on themselves. We can't change them. You know, we've been learning that over the past few days, that we can't change them. And it's time to start taking care of ourselves, because at the end of the day, they're not going to. They share wonderful moments with us, and look at, because we're happy and because we're so, you know, we're feeling good, they take the opportunity. Oh, they're feeling good. They're plotting against me, aren't they? And they're this, no, they're not. They're happy because they're secretly plotting behind my back. So they go for the jugular. Whatever they're thinking, it's all rooted in self-preservation. They feel threatened by your happiness, by our happiness. No, forget it. No more. We're allowed to live happy. We're allowed to be free. We're allowed to have joyful moments in this life. We're allowed to live the life that we want, not dictated by somebody who can't have empathy. Like, no, that's no. So you gotta think that, okay, you gotta sit down and write a list, pros and cons, and this is what I'm willing to do, this is what I'm not willing to do. How do I protect my peace? You know, thank goodness, you know, she's going back to school soon, right? So, and when she's in school, that's probably a good time for you to just set some ground rules yourself. And, you know, when school's out, kiddo, you're not coming back here to live. You got to find your own way if that's what you want to do. You know, like you've got to set some ground rules to protect yourself now. So, yeah. So with narcissists, there is predictive patterning. That's what they use. Narcissists don't analyze why you feel what you feel. All they know is your reactions tell them everything they need to know. They don't dive deep into emotions. They observe emotional response triggers and use those to manipulate you. So when you're dealing with somebody, say, you know, you've just come back from a time at the beach or time bowling, and you've had a good time with your family member or your friend, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever it is, your kid, your child, excuse me, won't use the word kid, but anyways, you know, you just come back from having a really nice time with somebody who is acting like the narcissist, and you know, you're all happy and joyful and you're just giddy, and they're not. Like, they can only fake it for so long, and finally, I'm sure I can personally see how this might, you know, they can keep their joy on a superficial level, but they can't relate to you. So that must be frustrating to them. And so in their frustration, that leaks out, like, because they can't keep up appearances for very long. It's like, oh, this is annoying where I have to put on a fake smile. And why are they smiling all the time? Like, you know, like, gee, like, what is with this? The time is over now. We're home. So can't they just relax? Why didn't they're annoying me with their joy? Like, oh. And so they have to just give you a little egoic punch, you know, to tell you to shut it down. Stop being so happy. Stop being joyful. Because your joy, they, again, like we talked about this afternoon, they don't know how to measure it. They don't know how to assimilate it. They don't know how to interpret it. And so they're thinking, okay, this is unfamiliar to me. I'm used to always being on high alert. And this person, what's their motive? Like, I know with my ex-husband, when, I was in the kitchen with Scarlett making dinner or whatever, and we're talking, and he's in the living room, and there was like an open doorway, just, that you just walk through it and you're into the living room, and just kind of around the corner the couch was. And so he could hear us talk, but he didn't necessarily hear what we were talking about. And he'd be like, what are you guys doing? Are you talking about me? And I'm like, no, we're not talking about you. We're talking about this. We're talking about shopping. We're talking about this. Well, it sounds like you're whispering about me. I thought I heard my name. And it's like, no. And what he was doing was trying to get us to stop talking because he knew that we were having fun, and it agitated him that he wasn't included, and he couldn't include himself because he wasn't a happy person. So they get upset when you're involved in something and they can't participate. So if they can't participate, then they automatically think, danger, danger. So I know you're talking about me, she always says. Why do you hate me? Yeah, that's manipulative. I've had a narcissist say that too. You hate me, don't you? Nellie, was it? No, it was Nancy, not Nellie. Nancy on Little House on the Prairie, when she got scolded. You hate me, don't you? You all hate me. Well, I hate you. And then she would run away, right? Oh, that girl got that character to a T. Like, she had it. Like, oh. So, yeah. Hi, Helen. Nice to see you. If you did it once, X, you can do it again. His narcissistic offspring by letting the narcissist go. Yeah. Yeah. They say we smile because we have a defensive reaction, says CA. Yeah. Like it's, you can't be yourself around a narcissist. You just can't. And because they lack empathy, they study empathy like a science. And, they can mimic it, but when it comes down to relating to you, especially in joyful situations, they can't, that's one thing that they cannot relate to, because that's genuine. That's from the light inside of you. They can't fake that. They just can't fake that. So a healthy person feels their way into a connection. A narcissist mimics connection by watching for the signs of what makes people trust, love, and open up. They know when to nod. They know when to cry. They know when to say, I understand, even if they don't. And they know when to say, that you're just too happy, you're too joyful. Why do you have to be happy all the time? Why, you're making fun of me behind my back, aren't you? That's why you're so happy, because you're just, they just have this idea that you're making fun of them at their expense. And that's not what it is, but it's what they feel, because they cannot relate to you, because they can mimic it. But that joy that brings a connection, that you can just be joyful, that you don't have to have a reason to be joyful, that's unnerving to them. So they just mirror everything. Like they mirror you, and there's no soulful relating to you. So outside stimulus, nothing inside, right? Drama, doesn't like anyone, often says, I hate so-and-so, always has a target. And you can say to them, hate is a very strong word. Hate is a very strong word attached to a very strong emotion. Have you considered talking to somebody about that, girlfriend? Just, like letting her know that So the narcissist mimics, and mimicry often adds a little too much or not enough finesse to the situation. So what I mean by that is, when the narcissist mimics your joy, or mimics that, trying to, your empathy, and trying to have that compassionate connection with you, or whatever you guys are doing together, if you're really in tune to it, you can see, you can see in their body language, but you can also hear in their tone of their voice where it falls flat. It lacks light, like their voice actually does lack light. And you can hear the fakeness, the disingenuous nature that they're trying to portray. And oftentimes we miss it because we are so involved in the moment ourselves, enjoying ourselves, that we don't catch it. But if we just stand back and just observe them for a few minutes, we'll catch it. We'll see it. It's there. So yes, I've noticed that. Texts me all day with issues, so I can't nap, can't read. I need to start shutting off my phone. Seriously. Exactly. You know, put them on, what is it, sleep mode or block until you wake up, you know, so that you're not waking up to all these text messages. Just put them on block or put it on airplane mode or whatever, and just, you know, so that you don't have to deal with all those text messages. Yeah. So they thrive on the superficial realm because that's all they see. So the narcissist is very superficial, very vain, you know, looks at what people wear, what they look like, how they're dressed. They have, you know, Gucci bags, or, you know, brand name this, brand name that, what kind of car they're driving, what kind of job do they have. You know, they're all about that, but they lack the substance of what's inside, and so they can't see you, what's inside. And they really think that, you know, if you don't have the Gucci handbag, or if you buy brand name, or what is it, no named canned goods or whatever, oh, you're just, ugh. It's like, sorry, I'm on a budget. Oh, you're just, sorry. You know, peas are peas. Canned peas taste like, no. It's like, whatever, you know. And then they just put you in a category, you know. They look down on you. And it's because they need that superficial it's like just how we have that connection from heart to heart. They need that connection from superficial to superficial. So if you have the top brand name canned peas in your cupboard and you serve it to them, and that's exactly what they like. Like, they like, oh, you like the best of the best too. You're my kind of peeps. That's right. That's the connection for them. That's what makes the connection, not the internal, not the heart to heart. So, yeah. They want attention, good or bad, and they prefer the bad. Yeah. So ironically, most of us who are godly people, yeah, we like our nice things. We like to look nice and, you know, spiffy ourselves up a little bit and have some nice things. But when it comes down to it, most of us just dismiss the superficial. And even where it counts, the facial expressions, the facial tensions, the energy shifts, the micro manipulations, the body language, that's what we miss. Because we're not vain, so we don't look for that. But that is exactly what the narcissist is really looking for in you. So we like to give people the benefit of the doubt. But the narcissist sees everything we overlook, because they need this, because this helps them to stay in control. If they know something we don't know, then that puts them up above us. So, yeah. How do I unfriend a narcissist who tries to quit shame you? Make defect you the bad guy. Oh my gosh. Can you go no contact? Just unfriend them. Block them from your your Facebook and block them from your email. If they have your email, just block them. Just, this is, yeah, if they're invested in making you the bad person and blaming you all the time, then you know what you need to do. I know it's hard, but, educate yourself. Educate yourself and understand that a narcissist is a person, as we talked about yesterday and today, that their brain is different than ours. It's actually smaller and it actually developed different than ours. So we're not looking at a behavioral structure that can change. This is a behavioral structure that's set. It can't change because the brain is basically it helps us to interpret, energy patterns. Our hearing, our sight, our taste, our touch it all comes from the unseen world, the spirit around us. And so our brains help us to interpret the information from incoming stimuli. And with the narcissist, they are hardwired to interpret and harvest the information from their outside stimuli as bad, being harmful to them. So they have to be hyper vigilant and always on the lookout. Someone's going to hurt me. Oh, this is danger over here. That person's dangerous. That person's laughing. That person's not like me, so they're dangerous. So understand that their brains cannot change, which means that because their brain is different than ours, they don't have any empathy, which I know I sound like a broken record, but this means everything. Like for me, it means everything. That when somebody doesn't have empathy, like watch how they treat children, the staff when you go out for dinner, how they talk to strangers, how they look at other people. Are they just, look down to people? How do they treat kids? How do they treat animals? How do they treat you? If the person is talking bad about a mutual friend or somebody that they know to you, chances are they're talking about you behind your back too. So they don't have your best interest at heart. They're not a friend. And if somebody is just invested in always blaming you and making you the bad guy and not apologizing, not doing anything to help the relationship, helping yourself by seeing, okay, this is who they are. They don't have empathy. They can't help me. They ask yourself, how do they, is this friendship serving you? How is this friendship helping you to be a better person? How is this friendship allowing you to grow? It's not. Is this friendship challenging you? Like, does your friend support you? And do they challenge you in ways that you need to be challenged? Or are they just to make themselves look better than you? That's not serving you. That's maligning you and undermining you, and you don't deserve that. And you don't owe anybody. See, that's the thing. This world, we're taught, got to be friends with everybody. No man's an island. Don't shut people out. You know what? You don't owe anybody your friendship. We never thought about that, have we? We don't owe anybody our friendship. And when somebody treats us badly, you can tell them, okay, you know what? I feel disrespected. Maybe you didn't understand that you just disrespected me, but I'm going to give this a one-off. But I'm going to tell you this. If you disrespect me one more time, you leave me no choice but to leave the relationship. That will tell you that will tell you, because if they're a narcissist, they'll do it again and they won't care. And that will tell you what you need to do. And when you give an ultimatum, you have to follow through with it, because if you don't, that's how they know that they got you. If you don't follow through on that consequence, they know they got you. They know that they can do something to you 99 times before on the 100th time you'll start complaining about it. So they know how far they can go with you. So you cut them off at the pass and you say no. And, you know, if they're making you the brunt of their jokes, I was only kidding. No, that wasn't a joke. You know, just, you don't owe them anybody not an explanation for walking away from a relationship. You don't. They know what they did. Just because their brain is different and hardwired, they know exactly what they did. They know the difference between right and wrong. They just don't, it's not in them to do right things, to do good things. It's in them to do the bad things. That's who they are. They're opposite of us. So you don't owe anybody any explanation. None of you guys do. Just walk away. If you're done being the scapegoat, done being hurt. Like, we didn't come into this world to live our lives struggling to figure out how to feel happy and be happy. We came here to live a spiritual experience, to understand what it's like to be God. Now that we know, now we deserve to live in divinity. Now it's our time to shine. We've hit rock bottom. We don't need to continually to be hit rock bottom every time somebody decides, oh, we're not worthy. You know what? Those people aren't worthy of us. They're not worthy. We're a higher caliber than them. And you know what? We don't laud it over them. That's the difference. They'll laud it over us. Oh, you're nothing. You're nobody. You're this, you're that. You know what? Let them say that. Because we know who we are, and God knows who we are. God is our judge. Thank God. Thank you, Jesus. God is our judge and not the narcissist. And the narcissist is judging us because they're judged themselves. So, how do you deal with the smear campaign? You walk away from it. Don't give them any more ammunition. Go live your best life. Go do you. And the people who were meant to be in your corner, they'll follow you. They'll believe you. But those people that the narcissist was able to hoodwink and turn them into their flying monkeys, you don't need them. They're not for you. Yeah. Just a sec. You don't give people ammunition to use your life or who you are against you anymore. You just don't do that. That's, you know, they had their chance. They had their chance where you gave them your trust and they blew it. They blew it. Oh dear. I hope that didn't wreck anything. I just accidentally dumped my cord, the tip. Oh, I just accidentally dipped my tip in the candle wax. My charging tip. So, whatever. It should be okay. It will be okay. I don't think it hit the flame, thank goodness. I have my candle lit. So, I'll just move it over here. Silly. Silly girl. Yeah. So we'll try this and see. Dun, 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 dun. It works. It still works. Good. Probably the oil in the wax probably makes a better connection. So, anyways. Yeah, it's vanilla flavored. I love vanilla scented candles. Don't stick it too close to your nose because you're gonna burn your nose hairs. I did that one time and I just about did it now. That's why you go like this. You fan the smell towards you. You never go because you're gonna get the heat up your nose. I did that, and I forgot about that memory. I laughed so hard when I did that. I burned my nose hairs smelling a candle. That's not something that I will admit to everybody, but now the whole world will know. Yeah, I, Shannon Gilmore, sniffed the candle too close to my nose and burnt my nose hairs. And I smelled singed hair for days. Oh, that was so funny though. I was just laughing so hard. Oh my gosh, I forgot that. So thanks, guys. Yeah, it is funny, very funny. So yeah, vanilla scent is very calming. Yeah. So I literally, my candle and my air purifier stay, put that out. Oh, okay. Okay. I light my candle and my air purifier says, put that out. I see. I see. Yeah, this is a soy candle. I've never had a soy candle before. So mine is trying to brainwash my very young children, program them to keep secrets from me. Hi, Andrew. Yeah, they'll do that. They'll do that. And, you know, you can just tell your kids you can tell, just be there for your kids and teach them that teach them the difference between a truth and a lie. And, just be there for your kids. If they want to talk to you, then just, you gotta just show them that you're the bigger person, because your kids are, kids that are trapped. Kids do feel trapped in relationships when one parent is the narcissist and the other one is trying to fight for the kids, but the narcissist just uses the kids as objects and as tools. And it's very, very hard to deal with. So, um, yeah. Maybe have conversations with your kids after their visit or after their time with the narcissist, and just ask them, how does that make you feel? Like, I'm sure if they bring something up and they say, daddy did this or mommy did this, or, and you can just say, well, did you want to talk about that? I'm sure that must have made you feel a little bit scared, or maybe you felt a little bit frustrated, and, talk about their feelings with them. That will help. You're not getting your child to say, oh, what did daddy or mommy say about me today? No, you're just, okay, how was your day with your dad? Or how was your day with your mom? And, oh, we baked cookies. Oh, that sounds like fun. Yeah, and, I accidentally spilt the milk on the floor and dad yelled at me and, told me that, said something that made me feel bad. And then you don't pry, you let them tell you if they feel comfortable. And, sometimes when you just say, "Aw, I'm sure that must have been scary for you," like it's only milk. And, adults sometimes feel very stressed and they take out their stress on other people. But, it was an accident, and accidents happen, and it's okay. Yeah, I know it's okay, but dad made me feel like I was just, I wasn't paying attention, and I guess I should have paid attention more. And then you could say, well, yeah, I can see that. We all do need to pay attention a little bit more, but you were excited making cookies, right? I can understand that. And it must have been really fun to make cookies with your dad, and then just talk like that, and just nurture their feelings, help them feel better about themselves, and let them feel that it's okay being a kid, it's okay to make mistakes. Because that's one thing, narcissists are very strict, where it's like you're under their control and you cannot make a mistake. And if you can't make a mistake, how much harder will it be for a kid to, like, a child cannot make a mistake? When it's natural, that's how we learn. As kids, trial and error. But, parents are going to roll their eyes and make the, kiss their teeth and in front of the kids and make these rude remarks. And why do you have to be just like your mother? Why do you have to do this? Why do you have to, and So if you're just support your kids and their emotions as best as you can, that may help them and also help them open up and make them understand and feel not so alienated, because your kids are a part of the both of you, and the narcissist basically forces them to choose, and that's unfair. So if you can just, yeah, I understand that, this is hard for you. So how, like, what are your thoughts about mommy and daddy divorcing and not living together anymore? And that must make you feel upset, but I want you to know that we both love you, and I certainly love you. And my feelings haven't changed for you just because I'm not going to live with, we're not going to live as a family anymore. I love you to pieces. I love you so very much. I'll never stop loving you. And I may be stressed at sometimes, but you know what? I think I need to consider your feelings too, and maybe I haven't considered your feelings sometimes. So, as the child gets older and depending on their age, you can talk to your children like that. Be open and honest with them, because kids pick up a lot more than what adults think. And you know that because you were a kid too. And maybe you were a kid traumatized, and maybe you went through a divorce as a kid and you saw a lot more than what your parents thought you knew, right? You did. So narcissists will not admit to their wrongdoing when you call them out. No, they won't. They won't. So thank you, Resistor. Resistor has posted links if you guys want to chat with me one-on-one. I am here. We can talk for an hour. And an hour goes by really quickly, my friends. It really does. Like, we're already into an hour, and I've still got stuff to share with you. So, yeah, an hour talk, a lot can be said in an hour, and it goes by quickly. So, if you want a different perspective, you want some help, I'm here for you guys. So use the link in the description of this video or in the chat, and make your appointment with me. Or you can talk to me through email, shannongilmore@protonmail.com, and you can get in your suggestions, your comments, your event, and just share what you need to share with me in an email. And if you guys like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Please like it, as I really appreciate it. We are over 2,000 subscribers today, so thank you very much. Thank you everyone for making that happen. Now we're moving on. The next goal, 3,000 subscribers. I want to hit 10,000 subscribers. Like, oh yeah. Like, let this YouTube know that Christian content is worth more than anything. Like, this is, we're learning how to touch the divine. We're learning and tapping into our divinity, and we're going home, and that's what it's about. So we get to govern the YouTube algorithms, not the other way around. Let's do this. So like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell, because we are here twice a day, 1 o'clock in the afternoon, 10 o'clock in the evening, Eastern Standard Time, and every video is different. And check out the shorts. I've been, trying that out lately, and trial by error, just seeing what videos click with you guys and which ones don't, and it's been fun. I like doing shorts, but I like shorts, but I don't like shorts, because shorts give you just a little bit of information when we need a lot of information. So never stop growing, never stop learning, and just do what you need to do on your healing journey. It's a process. So thanks everyone. So I think the shorts are awesome and might be bringing in new members. They are. Thank you very much, Cynthia. They are. I'm so surprised. The one video I did on the 4-year-old child, that a narcissist is not a 4-year-old child. What did I do? Put that up yesterday or the day before, and it's already got 7,000 views, or almost 7,000, something like that. It's like I've never seen that before on this channel at all. It's like, I'd be good if I was just pumping or bumping 100 views. So, that video shows me that, you guys want the truth. You guys want the truth, and that's what we give on this channel, the truth. So that one was so good. Thank you, Cynthia. Yeah, that one, I have to admit, I saw Richard Grannon, his video, his short video on that, and I was just like, oh no, no, no. And I was just freaking out because I'm just like, no, that's not right, man. That's not right. That may have been the language years ago, but now new science is telling us something different. It's time to take that video down and stop promoting Freud and stop promoting, you know, the psychologists that just aren't aren't you know tapping into the knowledge of what people are discovering about narcissism now. So I was just like, no, we got to tell the truth, got to tell the truth, got to tell the truth. And I was just like, no. And I'm just like, God, calm me down, because I just like, the truth matters to me. And I just don't like it when I've seen, with AI and people just spreading lies and stuff, things that aren't real. Like, it's hard to tell the difference, and some people can't tell the difference between a real story and a fake one. And I just no. So yeah, so I'm pretty proud of that video. So thank you, Richard Grannon. Thank you very much. And no disrespect to you, but love. I watched you way back when 7 years ago when I needed help on narcissism. He was a huge help. But now it's time. Just like even in the Bible, it was. If you notice, Jesus and John the Baptist's disciples. Jesus didn't start his ministry until John the Baptist was taken out of the way. And that's one of the things that God taught me in my own Bible study, is that churches are good to a point, just like psychology is good to a point. They'll get us so far, and then we have to not abandon, but just walk away from them and maturely go a different direction. And that's kind of like what happened with John the Baptist and his crew. John the Baptist stood up for the truth and got himself incarcerated, and his disciples had nowhere to go. But that's when Jesus took over and John the Baptist's incarceration was and allowed Jesus to step in and take over. And there can only be one truth. There can only be, Jesus is the only truth. And so churches point us in the direction to Jesus, but they act like the John the Baptist, where they have to go and we have to walk away, and they stay on the sidelines, and we have to go and follow Jesus and let Jesus teach us. And that's the same with anything. Like on this channel, I don't expect you guys, like, it would be an honor to have your friendship and your trust forever, but I don't expect you guys to, I expect you guys to mature on your own and surpass my knowledge even possibly, and go and make videos of your own, or write articles, or go and teach this in schools, or write books with this. Go make your life your own from your own story, and tell your story and let God lead you. And that's what happens. Eventually you may just depart from this channel and go make your own and have your own following where God leads you. And that's a good thing. Oh no, I'll be here. Awesome. Thank you. But it's okay if that happens, because that's how knowledge spreads. So I don't know why we got on. Oh, yeah. Okay. So now that I got off topic, so thanks everyone. So I want to go back to that. Okay. So let's get into the dark psychology, the dark hacks. Now there's some things that we already know. The empathy mimicry, the selective memory, the silent sabotage, the future faking. We kind of know all these ones. The silent sabotage one kind of got me though, because it's where the narcissist, they destroy your confidence without saying a word. And this is the well-timed sigh, the eye roll, the delayed text, or a fake smile that can leave you feeling small, guilty, or paranoid. without their direct confrontation. You don't know what you did wrong. So this is all about a psychological suggestion. They condition you to doubt your intuition. And when you doubt it, you eventually abandon it and you just, no, I'm not going to listen to it. No. And then you start doubting yourself. So that one really hit home with me. And then we've got the future faking. We've got the manufactured jealousy, where they intentionally mention past lovers with you, new best friends, or work wives, husbands, where they're friends with somebody at work and they mention them, and so-and-so says this, so-and-so said that, we should do that, and so-and-so said I should do that, and no longer is your spouse asking for your opinion, or it's always somebody else is in the way, third party kind of stuff, right? So this is to provoke insecurity and competition. While you're pliable, yeah, you're more pliable when you're more afraid to lose them, and they know that. So they're feeding off of your neediness, and they are seeing how needy you really are. Because if you have healthy boundaries, you're not so needy, you're independent. You don't need them as much. So they're like, do I need to go get new supply yet? Or can I, this supply that's waiting on the wings, can I gravitate to them more? Do I need to get to know them more because this current supply isn't needing me as much? So they're gauging how well they interact with you or how well you need them. And that determines how closer they get to their other supplies that they've got going on. So jealousy makes you fight for them instead of asking why they're hurting you. Yeah. The things that we put up with, I'm just thinking about it now, and I'm just like, the things that I put up with it, I just let slide. Wow. And then there's the victim flip. When you expose their mistreatment, they cry louder than you. Suddenly, you're the villain. The Darville method: deflect, or defend, objectify, victimize, and what's the other one? They just flip it around. They make themselves the victim, and they have nothing to do with hurting you. It's all your problem, and you have actually hurt them. So you're guilt tripped for your tone, your boundaries, your hurt feelings. You're not allowed to have hurt feelings, and we discussed why yesterday. So the hack is, the psychological hack to this is that the narcissists are weaponizing your weakness. Pity becomes their power play. It's like they calculate 24/7 exactly to be ahead. Yeah, they do. And they have to, like, it's on autopilot. It's non-stop because their brain is wired, is geared, is molded, it's hardwired into everybody else is a threat. Everybody's a threat. So then there's the innocent triangulation. They involve a third party in subtle ways. This is kind of like the jealousy thing again. And it's not always romantic, but they may praise someone else's loyalty, wisdom, or patience, or subtly compare you and make you work harder. It's like, have you ever, I've had this before, where you make a suggestion to the person you're talking to, and they don't take that suggestion, oh, I've got this book that I think you would really like. And then a month later, they tell you the same book. Oh yeah, a friend was telling me about this book, It's like, I have somebody upstairs who listens to our talk. And a few weeks ago when I had, I listened, she was going through something, and I noticed a red flag where in some of our talks I mentioned something about singing and humming and something else about, just regulating your nervous system. And she brought it up and she goes, I heard, a friend told me, I heard this, that you do this and this and this. And I'm just like, oh, yeah. So it was like just to hook me, to manipulate me, because she needed me, and she was just trying to make herself sound like, thanks for your help, but I don't really need you. I've got my circle of friends too that can help me, so don't think that I'm going to turn to you all the time. And I just like, whatever, whatever, you know. Yeah, it does lead to burnout. You're right. It's energy consuming. Yeah. So it's weird how people approach you, but there's always a hidden motive behind it. So just be careful. Just be careful. Because the passive aggressive control method is dressed up to just to it's just meant to be a conversation in passing, or, oh, I just want to mention this, So there's the conditional affection, there's the false forgiveness, there's the spiritual and moral superiority, as some narcissists use religion and psychology or social justice as their platform. They cloak their abuse in concern, teaching, or truth speaking. And in the same conversation, I had this person speak in tongues to me while they were drunk. Witchcraft. Yeah. So manipulation is dressed in enlightenment. And if they say it's God's will, they may say, oh, God's got somebody out there for you, or God's got this for you. God told me this. Don't believe it, because you have God inside of you too. Like, you have the light inside of you. If God really wanted you to know something, God would either tell you, I've got something, so go see so-and-so because they've got something that they can help you with. Or God can very well tell you himself in prayer what he needs to tell you. You don't need to go to another person to get your word of knowledge from God. So just be careful. So these are some of the things that like we said, we already know about, but there are also some dark psychology hacks that we don't know about. And number one is emotional time distortion. And this is where the narcissist deliberately overwhelms you with information, shifting topics rapidly so you lose track of what actually happened in what order. And this makes it almost impossible to recall the sequence of events accurately, which weakens your ability to hold them accountable. So if they're telling you something, they went here, if you're, asking where they were for the last 8 hours, they may pull this time distortion on you, and they'll tell you so quickly, I went here, I did this, we did this, and it's vague. And it's just like a pattern, and it's just all over the place. And you're just like, what the hell? I can't keep track of this. So then you just forget it, whatever, just whatever. So then there's the phantom guilt seeding. They suddenly plant feelings of guilt in you for things you haven't done yet. Example, I know you'd never leave me like everyone else does. Your subconscious now feels indebted to prove them right, locking you into loyalty. Hello, Hussein. Nice to see you. Yes, they are very jealous, Cynthia. Very jealous. And then there's the moral inversion. They flip your values against you. If you value kindness, they'll accuse you of being unkind. If you value honesty, they'll say you're dishonest. This forces you into defending your identity instead of confronting their behavior. I know this one. My ex-husband used to say this to me all the time. You know, you don't have to use big words to make yourself sound smart. Excuse me for a sec. And, you know, he knew that about me when he met me. It's like, I'm not using big words to make myself sound smart. It was my upbringing. My foster dad used to use big words, and he's like, oh, you girls are so obstinate. And I'd be like, what's obstinate? And he's like, look it up. And he had bought a big, thick dictionary from Reader's Digest, leather bound. It was like an encyclopedia, dictionary, and like just a whole bunch of world facts. It was awesome. And every time I was grounded, I would read that, and I would actually read the dictionary part of it too and learn words. So my grounding wasn't in vain. Getting in trouble wasn't in vain. But my ex-husband, every time I'd use a big word, he'd be like, you know, you don't have to use a big word to make yourself sound smart. I'm like, I'm not. And it would hurt me that he would say that. And he knew that. Because he felt inferior, so he had to make me feel inferior. So just watch out for that. So then there's the almost apology. You ever heard of this one? I'm sorry you feel that way. I'm sorry if you think I did that. Which these sound like apologies, but they're actually placeholders. They put the blame back on you. And over time, you internalize the idea that your feelings are the problem, that your feelings don't matter. And then there's the strategic vulnerability. And why are we going over this? Why? Because this is my opinion, that it's important that we understand that the narcissists operate a certain way, and all these things that we're talking about tonight are in operation because the narcissist has no empathy. This is it. And hopefully this will give you the clue, instead of hanging on to hope that someday, somehow, some way, if you just love them enough, or somebody will love them, you know, they'll see their way to empathy. Somehow empathy will just enter their hearts, and they'll somehow call you out of the blue, and they'll come riding on their horse, and they'll be like, I'm so sorry I hurt you. I see the error of my ways. Please take me back. I love you. That's why we're talking about this. Because all of these strategies, they are because the narcissist has no empathy. And they have no empathy, so they are hardwired to work and operate in this hypervigilance of, gotta protect myself. I don't care about you, I care about me. But in order to protect myself from you, you know what they say? Keep your friends closer, keep your friends close, your enemies closer. That's the narcissist. I'm going to make you think that I love you to keep you close so that you don't hurt me, because I can keep a better eye on you, and I can better manage your feelings so to ensure that you don't end up hurting me. So the strategic vulnerability, they reveal something deeply personal at a key moment to reset the power dynamic. You stop focusing on your hurt because now you feel the need to comfort them, even if they cause the problem. So one that was familiar to me is like, I have a headache. Oh, you always have a headache. Like, I'd say that, I do have a headache. Can you please keep it down? Oh, you always have a headache. What about me? I have a headache too. You don't hear me complaining. Or if I just I don't feel very good today. Oh yeah, well, I don't feel very good either today. That's what he would say. It's like, whoa. Hey, Mr. Moon, how you doing? Good to see ya. So, oh, you guys are all, I gotta move. Oh, Gotta move this candle. Just about burn myself. Lifting it up. So never pick a candle up this way. Yeah. Wow. So, okay. These are the head trips we are dealing with from the narcissist. Yeah, exactly. So you guys are talking amongst yourselves. You're always sick is what I heard too. You too, Cynthia? Yeah, you're always sick. You always got a headache. Well, yeah, it would be nice to have some sympathy, thank you. And Helen says mirroring you. That's exactly what it is. But that's mirroring as an insult, you know, and that just lets you know that when you really do need them, when you really are down and you need them, they're not going to be there for you. They're not going to be like, oh, you want some chicken soup? Do you want some tea? How about some coffee? You want some toast? I'll go make you some toast. Oh, actually, toast sounds good right about now. Anyways, yeah, they're just on a whole different level. So there's the controlled chaos. Oh, they will disrupt your sleep. They'll disrupt your schedule or your daily rhythm in subtle ways. Texting late at night, changing plans at the last minute. Yep. Starting arguments. Yep. Yeah, you guys probably can agree on every one of these. They'll start arguments when you're about to leave. This keeps you in a constant state of mental exhaustion and lowers your resistance. They take pleasure in our pain. Yeah, they do. They do. When my grandmother passed away, I was crying, and he came in the bedroom and said, hey, just want to know, how much longer are you going to be? Oh, how much longer are you going to do this? As long as it frickin' takes. So shut up, you jerkosaurus. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. That's so insensitive. Yeah. They ghost you when you're sick. Yeah. Yeah. They take pleasure in our pain. Yeah, they do. And she raised me. Well, God bless her. God bless her. She's with Jesus now. God bless her. So there's the micro betrayals. They engage in tiny disloyal acts, forgetting to defend you in public, sharing small details with others to test how far they can push the boundaries without you confronting them. Maybe that's why their friends look at you weird when every time you see them, because they've said something inappropriate or some untruth about you that you don't know. Interesting. Then there's the emotional echoing. They intentionally repeat certain emotional experiences, like your happiest or saddest moments together, at planned intervals to trigger the same hormonal response, keeping you hooked in the cycle of highs and lows. This is classic of the hoovering. Yeah, remember those days. Remember that time we went to the beach and, you saw that seagull and it took your sandwich crust that you took off of the sandwich. You didn't like your crust, so you put them off to the side and the seagull came on and took it. That's so funny. Oh, that's just... And there you are, hooked in nostalgia, sharing a moment with them, like you're picking up where you left off. And that's what the narcissists expect when they come back to you. They expect to just pick up where the good points in the relationship. They expect to just maintain those good points and forget everything else. There's no working on the relationship, no working on getting to know each other again and healing those wounds that were created. No, it's just, you said yes to me, you took me back, so all is forgiven, so it's forgotten now too, so let's carry on. Yeah. Recalling memories. Yeah. And that's a Hoover tactic. Yeah. So there's the false security anchor. They give you one consistent thing that they know you can count on from them, like a favorite food, a song, or a small gesture. So you second guess whether they're truly harmful. It's a breadcrumb that keeps you loyal. And sometimes they take that away. I knew something was wrong when the pattern shifted, where every time my ex-husband was home, he would make me tea in the morning. He would wake me up with a cup of tea, and he stopped doing that. And I knew something was up, but I couldn't put my finger on it. Just stopped doing it. And then I mentioned it to him, and he's like, "Oh, you're sleeping. I didn't want to wake you up." So, guys want to go deeper? You got time? Got time to go deeper? Because there's even deeper things still. And these deeper things are designed to erode your identity while making you feel like it's your own idea. The Great Pretender. Yeah, do you remember the song Great Pretender? Questions. Exactly. Oh my gosh. Shannon, do we have the same guy? I got tea at my bedside too. Yeah, they were probably brothers. Brothers from another mother or another lifetime. No, brothers from another father. There we go. Or, because their father is not our father, right? So, even though my ex-husband claimed to be a Christian, no, far from it. Shannon, can I ask you how to enforce your resistance against a narc when you are exhausted? Good question. You suffer from burnout. That's where you've got to take time for yourself. You've got to distance yourself from them. You've got to, not just physically, but emotionally, see them for who they are. And that's why we're going through stuff like this. This information on this channel and other channels like it will help you to really see that there's nothing genuine about them. The only thing genuine I will say about the narcissist is that, they are genuine in who they are. They're genuine in being bad people. They're genuine at that, and they're good at it. And they're good at it because it's genuine from them. So understand that once you know the narcissist, now you have to take your life into your own hands, and you can't expect anything from them. So stop expecting things from them and just start doing things for yourself, and take time out for yourself. Go exercise, go take yourself out on a date by yourself, go visit a new restaurant, go do something new, join a hobby, maybe even a support group. Like maybe there's an art class. Art classes are, and taking art lessons and just finding an artistic hobby that gets you involved in your creativity is a wonderful way of healing. It's, expressional art, where you can just put colors on paper, color with your finger, even at home. Just get some finger paints and dabble in there and make something. That's a wonderful way to tap into your creativity and express your feelings and just get your feelings out and help yourself heal. So exercise, go for a walk in the park, go listen to scripture, memorize scripture, Bible study, pray. This is a good time to, as you distance yourself from the narcissist, this is a good time for you to re-engage your relationship with God. So, yeah. Yeah, making something is healing. Absolutely. And you're so engaged with it. Like you're just in the flow, not thinking about anything but the finished product. And you're just so, it's a way to take pride in yourself and, really, really have this sense of accomplishment. So the dark side, the dark, gruesome things, and the deeper dark psychology of narcissism is the inverted intimacy loop. The narcissist learns your trauma, your fears, and your deepest needs, not to love you because they can't love, but to recreate those pain points So you associate love with suffering. So say you tell your narcissist or your, whether they're a friend, a family member, or, you just say, hey, or a spouse even, especially with spouses. I have to tell you that it's dark and twisted. They will use your trauma against you. They will throw it in your face. And when this happened to me, I was so taken back, and I was just like, surely that wasn't timed. And it was like I had the creeps, like it was almost like demonic, like it was just, how would he know to time that? How would he know to say something like that? Because I confided in my ex-husband that I was molested by my mother's boyfriend when I was young. And so there was some, issues there where, I didn't like to cuddle. And it's like, once I'm sleeping, don't touch me. Because I used to get really mad when I was woken up sleeping. I used to be really mad, like, don't touch me because you'll wake me up, because I was just so hyper aware. And and I didn't like to cuddle. It was just made me very uncomfortable cuddling. And so he would, get upset at that. And so I had to tell him. And one time in our intimate times together, we were looking at each other in the face, having an extremely intimate time, which I thought was, I thought it was a lovely time. And he just ruined the moment because he brought up that, he brought up what happened to me. And he said something along the lines, pretend I'm the guy that's doing that to you. And I'm just like, what the, like, I couldn't believe it. Like, I was so shocked at what he said that I just tried my best to just ignore it. And no, I heard him wrong. He didn't really say something like that, did he? Like, no. And that was the only time he said it, but I know what I heard. And now that I know, yeah, it was the demon speaking. Demon speaking. So that's the kind of dark and twisted stuff they will do to you if given the chance. So you don't even realize that, you've been programmed to equate abuse with closeness because it feels so familiar. And that sounds like your ex-husband too, Helen. Oh, I'm so sorry, everyone. Like, and I'm sorry if I'm triggering stuff. My heart goes out to you. But I believe that we need to talk about this, because the more we talk about these darker, twisted things out in the open, then the less we are going to excuse their behavior and try to hope upon hope and pray for them that, oh, they're nice people. No, they're not nice people. No nice person would ever do these things to you. No nice person, no loving, compassionate individual who values you would say stuff and do things like this to you. So I hope this is engaging your memory to help you to stop the rumination, to stop going over in your mind that, oh, God, please help them, please save them, please teach them, please. They are who they are. And then there's the emotional echo chamber implanting. What that is they subtly inject their beliefs into your internal monologue. They'll say things like, oh, you've never been good at letting go, have you? You always overreact. Oh, you're so much like your toxic parent. You're so much like your mom. I can see you're just a master manipulator like her. Yeah. The amount of narc-tards is amazing once you know the signs. Exactly, resistor. So his narc mom recently, oh, he's a really good person deep down. Lady, no, he's not. No, that's just the mother in denial because she groomed her son. She knows exactly who he is, but because he's loyal to her, that's all that matters. That he's loyal to her and not you. So of course he's a good son. She trained him well. She's proud of herself for that too. Number 3 of these dark, gruesome, twisted dark psychological patterns of the narcissist is the memory reframing through hypnotic triggers. Narcissists intentionally revisit traumatic events with a twisted retelling. They embed altered versions of shared experiences into new conversations. So you begin to remember things the way that they want you to. So, say the narcissist threw a cup across the room, and they'll retell the fight, and you guys will be talking and going over things, and they'll be like retelling the different, yeah, you threw the cup at me and it almost grazed me, and they'll be like, no, I remember throwing the cup and I remember throwing it over there and it hit the wall over there. And you're like, yeah, because I was standing over there. No, you weren't. You were sitting here on the couch with me right here. No, I wasn't. So that's the kind of things that they do. So, hi RW, how you doing? When people respond to a Hoover and return to the narc, they get treated like a runaway slave brought back to master. Wow, well said. Well said. Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to save that one. That's well said. Well said. And, we know that the disrespect is less and less. Every time you go back to the narcissist, it's less and less and less. They disrespect you more and more and more. The respect for you is less and less, I should say. The disrespect is more and more and more. So, when you stay and you have to endure these toxic psychological maneuvers of the narcissist, you get confused. Especially if they're trying to rewrite your story, what you went through. Your brain gets confused between real memory and implanted narrative. That's not just gaslighting. It's memory programming, reprogramming. And then there's the self-censorship conditioning. They train you to anticipate their reactions so well that you begin censoring yourself before they even react. Yep, been there, done that. They never have to raise their voice again. Your fear of the fallout keeps you silent. My ex used to he'd just have to go like this, toss his head like this and go like that. And I knew he was getting ready to shout and getting ready to, so I would just make my exit, walk away or shut down and say, it's okay, whatever, I'm wrong. My mistake. And this kind of control is no longer external, it's also internal, because you're not allowed to stand up for yourself because of the fear. Same guy, that head shaking. Yep. Yep. They were probably brothers. Well, they are. They're narcissists. Narcissists are brothers and sisters. They're their own family. So there's the trauma-linked bonding reinforcement. Hi, Stephanie. How you doing? Nice to see you. They alternate extreme hurt with relief. You cry, they comfort you. They hurt you, they make you laugh. Your brain floods with dopamine after the pain and during the love. So your body becomes addicted to the cycle of punishment then pleasure. That's why leaving them feels like detoxing from a drug. And then there's the reputation pre-damage or preemptive smear campaign. Before you even know there's a problem, they're already planting seeds of doubt about you and others. So when you finally speak up, people say, oh yeah, they told me you would say this. They told me you'd do this. The smear campaign was already in motion before you were conscious of the abuse. They set you up. It's all attempts to isolate you. So you have nowhere to turn. It's because if you have people who are in your corner to help heal you, then they lose, right? It's all about control. That is what my prior attorney said to me: false claims, coerced control, subordinate perjury. Wow. Yeah. Brother trying to hoover me with texting Bible verses. Oh, they are truly sick puppies. Yeah. They want us to think it's a forgiveness situation when it's a self-defense situation. That's right, RW. Right on. They are all connected by a master phone. Yeah, master manipulator. So reverse mirroring. See, they don't mirror you to connect. They mirror you to take inventory, to gather emotional intel on who you want to be, what you value, and how you respond, so they can become your ideal partner until they don't need you anymore. And once you're hooked, the mask, well, what we say, the mask slips, but really they just stop mirroring you. Because they don't have to try anymore. They got you. So that's when your dream person becomes your nightmare. Virtue weaponization. They use your own goodness against you. They highlight your compassion, your loyalty, your forgiveness. Oh, you're such a good person. You're so honest. You're so kind. Only to twist it into an obligation. Oh, I thought you were spiritual. I thought you were a godly woman. What the heck was wrong with you? What happened? Oh, now your colors are showing. I guess you're not as kind as you say you are. Or you're not as kind as I thought you were. You're not as virtuous as I thought you were. You're now guilt-tripped into staying, apologizing, or proving you are who you say you are. That's not very Christian of you. That's right. Or you're so gorgeous or generous. Yes, right. You're so generous. Yep. And you're trapped like a rat in a cage. Right on, Stephanie. And then there's the phantom identity replacement. What the heck? The narcissist slowly replaces your self-image. No wonder we have this identity crisis and we don't know who we are when they discard us. They replace our self-image with one that they've manufactured for us. You're too sensitive. You're too hard to love. You're broken. So when we start believing them, they offer to be the only one who can love you anyway. Good thing good thing I'm here, because nobody else is going to want to love you. They actually say things like that. You lose your identity and they offer to be your savior. How nice. Abuse for them is a sacred contract in spiritual, religious, and soulmate dynamics. The narcissist frames your suffering as part of your growth, your karma, your test of faith or love. They'll say things like, we're twin flames. That's why it's so hard. That's why this relationship is so hard, because twin flames, it's hard. Or God put us together to refine each other. You're stronger because of me. And suddenly your trauma isn't abuse. It's thought of as destiny. And you're grateful for it. These tactics are devastatingly effective because they operate under your conscience radar. And they work by hijacking your nervous system, your memory recall, your identity structure, your emotional attachment wiring, and your spiritual world view. All of this abuse, wow. And it's done on purpose so that they can keep siphoning that negative energy from you. Bad is attracted to good so that it can make you bad and harvest the bad, make you feel bad, so they harvest the bad. So here you have a narcissist building you up, putting you on this pedestal, leading you to believe that you're a good, kind-hearted, loving individual, and you have just hit the jackpot in romance. Like God just got it right. God just brought you the person of your dreams. Like this is just, they were heaven sent. This is a miracle. This is just what you've been waiting for and living for in life. Like this is it. The ideal partner. The narcissist is strategic. They build you up so that they systematically tear you down, because the higher you are, the higher they praise you, the lower you'll fall. And this is abuse. And it's done on purpose so that when you are low, you are now an expression of all this negative energy, of all this, negative energy that is projected onto you from them. And they harvest that negative energy and they use it to look at you and see how worse off you are than they are. And that's how they feel good about themselves. That's what brings them joy. Jesus brings us joy and happiness and glad tidings. But for them, happiness and joy and glad tidings is by making us feel worse than they feel. And that makes them feel better. And that's why they can't stand happiness and joy. When we have an enjoyable moment with them, they've got to sabotage it, because how dare we have joy? How dare we express joy? How dare we feel better than what they feel? No, they're even in control of joy. They dictate to when we're happy. No, because they are meant to make us happy. No one else is to make us happy. It's them, the narcissist. We get our happiness from them. And we should be just so happy and grateful and overjoyed that they're paying attention to us. This isn't a game. This is their reality. And they siphon this negative energy from us. We have this overload of energy that they siphon from us. Our feelings of doubt, fear, rejection, abandonment, feeling alone, feeling afraid, feeling tormented, even jealousy, resentment. They'll harvest it and turn it into something good for themselves. And they'll compare us with themselves, and they'll say, see, yeah, now I feel good. Now I have a reason to smile, because they feel like shit. They feel like crap. They feel like how I used to, and I don't feel like that anymore, so I am better than them now. I am better. I always have been. See, look at me. Look at me. I'm happy. I'm glad. I'm not like that. I'm not falling apart at the seams. I'm not coming unglued. I'm not triggered. Oh, look at this person. This is a waste of skin. This person is just crazy. Like, what did I ever see in them? Glad I'm not like them. Oh, I'm glad your friends can't see you how you're crazy right now. I'm just so glad. And you know what? I'm glad I'm here, because nobody knows how to deal with you except for me. That keeps you hooked for their endless supply, until you get to the point where you're so low, you can't be brought higher. You're living in the state of just, you lost hope. You've got this learned helplessness, and you just, no matter what they say or do for you in kindness or empathy or whatever it is that they're faking to put you back on this pedestal, you can't get there. You just can't get there. They buy you gifts, they take you out, and yeah, it's like a nice night, but that joy that they used to see in you that was long lasting, that would linger for hours, as soon as you get in the car from your meal, from your nice night out, as soon as you get in your car, you're like, it's over. There's no lingering joy, and that's what they loved. They loved the lingering joy. Well, they didn't love it, but they saw the lingering joy in you, and that's what they tried to take down, because there's no lingering joy in them. And so that's what they resorted you to, where you can still enjoy the moment, but after the moment's over, your feelings just switch, just like that, and you're back to feeling ho-hum. So they can't take you out to dinner anymore to have that feel good high that you had in that joyful nature where you're giggling and laughing, and you come home and you guys sit at the table and you talk for hours, and you're just like, oh, that was such a nice dinner, and oh, let's continue this let's make a drink, or let's make some popcorn. And no, it's like, oh, I'm tired, I'm gonna go to bed now. It's late. It's only 9 o'clock, yeah, but it's late, I'm tired. Thanks for dinner. Well, that's no fun. So now they've got to go find a new supply because they can't build you up anymore. Yeah, they want you to fill their bucket while they deplete yours. Yeah. All the same demon. Yep. You've lost all self-respect and esteem. Yep. It's depression. Yep. Dinner together? What's that? I know, right, Stephanie? Like, wow. Yeah. Their bucket has holes in it. Well, what is that song? Isn't it from Sesame Street or some, there's a hole in the bucket, dear Liza, there's a hole in the bucket, dear Liza, a hole. Well, fix it, dear Henry, dear Henry, dear Henry. Well, fix it, dear Henry, fix it. Then he's like asking, well, what? And it's like, is this guy like so mentally incapacitated he can't think for himself? But it was a cute song, but it's monotonous, right? But yeah. So, man. So all of this abuse is done on purpose so that they can keep siphoning energy from you. They have an axe to grind with God, and you know what? You're in the way. And so, see, this is the spiritual underpinnings, the spiritual dark psychology, or the dark spirituality of it, that I don't even think the narcissist recognizes. Jesus says they will hate you because of me, and Jesus is in us, so we are standing in the way of the enemy getting to Jesus. So if the enemy takes us down, then they have direct access to Jesus, but it doesn't work that way, does it? No, it doesn't work that way. So it took you time to succumb to the treachery. It took time for you to systematically be taken down. And the glory in you is not gone. It's just over. It's covered by, Jesus says, don't let your light be covered by a lampshade, right? Well, that's exactly what trauma is. It's a lampshade. It's dulling our light. It's, closing us off to the light. So we've got to work through it. And it took time to hurt you. So it's going to take time to heal you. So you have to just put one foot in front of the other and make an effort every single day. And I'm very honored that you guys trust me and trust this channel to allow us to help you. We've got a wonderful group in the chat. We're a growing community, and I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of us. So keep going. Well done. Yeah, I see dead people. Oh, yeah. Whoa. That is, ooh. Yeah. Stephanie says, I don't think I can let him go. You will. They have a black aura. Yeah, you will in time. It's just going to take time, Stephanie. You know, what you do when they blame their issues on their gaslighting. What do you do when they blame their issues on their gaslighting? Oh, like they can't remember? I don't remember. I never said that. Did I say that? You know what? I'm going to tell you this. No amount of receipts will stop them from gaslighting. So what I would say to the narcissist when they're gaslighting you, and you're calling them out, did you do this or did we did the, you know what? You just say, you know what? I never asked you to defend yourself, or you don't have to defend yourself. I'm just looking for clarification and I got it. So thank you. And leave it at that. Because the moment they start gaslighting you, that's your clarification right there. They're lying. They're duping you. They're trying to get you to shut down. So you just shut them down with you. They're smart enough. They know you know. And you're letting them know that you know. And you just turn it around on them. You manipulate them with reverse psychology. It's okay. You don't need to defend yourself. I'm not looking for you to defend yourself. I'm just looking for clarification. And you gave that to me. Thank you. I got it. I know now. I know how to proceed. I got the information I was looking for. Thank you. As soon as they start gaslighting, you can say, I got the information I was looking for. Thank you. And smile and walk away. So, yeah, no amount of receipts is true. I remember I was with this one person and I had the text messages and I had my phone, this phone, and I reading off his messages he sent me. And he's like, I never said that. I'm like, yes, you did. And he argued with me for 3 hours. I drove to his house and we just argued and I was ready to break up with him. And I don't know why I didn't. But he knew that I was like, he knew I was going to break up with him. And I think he just kind of, you know, he was forced into an apology. And I remember the conversation where he said, well, I wouldn't have said that if you didn't do that. And I said, you're taking away your apology. And he's like, turned it around on me. And he said, you're taking away my apology and your apology. You're taking away our peace by arguing this. And I was just like, you know what? I'm not doing this. And I just had to just let it go. And that was the day I should have walked away, but I didn't. And, you know, they didn't stop gaslighting. The gaslighting just got worse. It just got worse. When you give into it once, they expect that you'll give into it all the time. And it does get worse. You just don't notice that it doesn't get worse because it blindsides you and you're so, you know, so emotionally invested in arguing, not arguing to argue, but you're so invested in trying to get to the truth, and you're invested in trying to see the truth and be validated with the truth. And so you don't see that it is, every time they gaslight, it does get worse, and you don't see that. And that's another form, the gaslight is another form of disrespect. So every time you give into their disrespect, they disrespect you more. It gets worse. So they will never be accountable. So stop trying. We can never change another person. So when we keep quiet and see who they are and see what they choose to do, we have to see them for who they want to be. They like it, or else they would change. Hi, Blair. Yeah, they can't change. And so they've accepted who they are. They want you to engage in their conflict to drain your energy. Exactly. Don't let them. Keep your energy and focus on God, God's assignment for your life. Well said. Thank you. Yeah. Hey, Mark. How you doing? Why is your subject always on narcissism? Because we do Bible studies at 2 o'clock in the afternoon on Sunday. And we bring God into the detail. A lot of our videos are about narcissism and understanding the spiritual aspects of narcissism, understanding the psychology of it. And sometimes we challenge psychology because it needs to be challenged. We need to know the truth. And we also understand narcissism from a scientific perspective, quantum science. So that's why we talk about narcissism, because we want to get to the truth. And with narcissists, they don't allow us to make informed decisions as to if we want to get into a relationship with them or not. And sometimes the narcissist is a family member, so it's not like we have a choice. We didn't get to choose, you know. We have to live with our family members. So yeah, it's learning the truth from all aspects gives us the ability to make an informed decision, whether it's time to leave, time to stay, or we want to stay or go. I mean, when you know the truth will set you free. And that's what we talk about on this channel. So welcome. So what else? A narcissist is a fantasy word for evil. I like that. Yeah. Or a fantasy and fancy word. Yeah. Fancy word. We cannot override someone's free will, and neither can Jesus. They have the choice. They chose not to change. I love you all. We have to see this. Exactly. We don't have to be nice or a doormat to malicious people. Exactly. So I hope all this information has given you guys some food for thought. That, you know, the psychology behind the narcissism, behind what they do, is all self-motivated. It's all motivated with the understanding of preserving themselves. To them, everything is superficial. They can't go deep. They have no empathy. So when you take away empathy, you actually see how vague they really are, and how it's easier to see why they do things and how they do it. Because it's like, yeah, if I didn't have empathy, yeah, it would be easy to gaslight. If I didn't have empathy, yeah, it would be easy to cheat. If I didn't have empathy, yeah, it would be easy to manipulate the other person's feelings to use for my gain and get them to do what I wanted, because there's no conscience there. So there's no rule. There's nothing holding you back from hurting another person. And that's pretty wicked. The last few videos have been so thorough and deep. So much great information and validating. Yes, thank you. I'm glad we're all here together. Thank you, Cynthia. I'm glad too. I'm glad, you know. Honestly, we're attracted to the narcissist personality. We don't want to be, we don't want the nice guy. I think our trauma, many of us, maybe not all of you, maybe you guys can't relate to this, but somewhere there is some sort of trauma that binds us to the narcissist, as we are attracted to them, because the narcissist does mirror somebody in our past in some way. For me, I was looking to resolve my mommy and daddy issues through the narcissist. Maybe you have a sister or a child, or, you know, like, even if your children are a problem, they're going to mirror your spouse. You know, one of the spouse might be a narcissist, or you know, if there's not trauma there definitely is a lack of self-awareness there, And that's our weakness, because even in childhood trauma teaches us not to become self-aware or too self-actualized, where we're independent of other people, where when we go into this big wide world and form relationships, we're still needing relationships to feel validated, like, oh, if they like me, then I can like myself. I give myself permission. Thank you, Stephanie, for that. I appreciate that. We are attracted to the narcissist. I appreciate that. Thank you very much for the super chat. I think that when we are not self-aware, the narcissist sees that, because we don't have the self-actualization to know exactly who I am, when we go into this big wide world thinking we're adults, 17, 18, 19, and in our early 20s, we leave mom and dad and we go and set out in this life and try to make a life for ourselves. And a lot of times it's just trial by error. We try to figure this out. And they can sense boundaries or lack thereof. Exactly. And so the narcissist leaves when we start having our boundaries and we say no. Like, people treat us the way that they see us treat ourselves. And the narcissist is very astute, very eyes on, looking to see how we treat ourselves and how we treat other people. And they see how we treat other people better than we treat ourselves. They see it. They just don't tell us, because if they told us, they would give themselves away. But they see it. So, yeah. I think loving the bad person persona is it is the way that we find ourselves. It is. But I think that maybe we go for the bad boy because we know what it's like to be abandoned or, left or misunderstood. And we think that if we can change the narcissist into loving us, that will solidify our bond, or their bond that they have with us, and they'll never leave us. I think that's partly the reason too, is that we're so scared of being abandoned ourselves. We all fear being abandoned. We all have this fear of being abandoned, and so we turn to the narcissist. And if we can get them to love us after being so awful to us, maybe they'll feel obligated and more loyal to us, because they know that they hurt us. And if they know that and they're making it up to us and they love us, well, that's gonna supplant their loyalty and make them love us forever. So, all right. Narcs speak in the language of narcissistic supply. You are either doing it for them or you're not. Yeah, either you're doing it for them or for yourself. I went back to the narcissist. Not just for them. I went back because I recognized that I needed them. I wasn't ready to give them up. I wasn't ready to end the relationship. I was so full of control and saying, no, I get to say when I want to end this relationship, and I get to, dictate that you will love me and you will treat me kindly and you will treat me better. So going back into this a second time, you're going to do it the way that I want, and that didn't happen. I ended up being under their control again. And they'll get away with anything we allow them to, plus more. Give an inch and they take a mile. Exactly. Hi, Dark Faria. Nice to see you. So, okay. I'm just going over here. Most are not aware of the narc abuse and trauma. Yeah. There's still people that say, well, why didn't you leave? I don't know why you stay. Because you're not me and I'm not you. Because they're not trauma informed. Amen to that. Thank you, Blair. Thank you for saying that for Stephanie. Yeah. So. Yeah. RW, the gray rock method does work. And we call it the gray rock, but it's also a part of detaching yourself, detaching your emotions from the narcissist. They don't like that. They need an emotional response from you in order to have this sense of control. So, my own adult child pulled that on me tonight. Well, you didn't leave. If it were me, I would have left. What does she know? Yeah, that's the thing. People can say that, and people do say that. That's a tough thing to say. That's a tough thing to say. But they have no, and that just shows their ignorance, that they have no idea. Because she's in it, isn't she in it right now with a friend of hers? So, don't we say that's the pot calling the kettle black? Yeah. So she's one to talk. Like she can leave too. So it is gaslighting. It is gaslighting. Yeah, but they don't when you toss, sound reasoning their way, they won't take your advice. They won't see it. They'll just say, you're judging me. They won't see the logic in it. They won't be like, yeah, you're right. I guess I'm in the same boat. Oh my gosh. No, they're just, you're judging me. This isn't about me. This is about you. That's what I say to a narcissist when they try to make it about, themselves. And I say, no, this is about me, not about you. But they act that, like when they switch the tables on you, they just like, how dare you? I'm not like you. And yeah, you are. And that's okay. But I've spent half my life with him. Devastating. Yeah. It's all about them at the end of the day. They are judging themselves, they are criticizing themselves, and they loathe themselves. Exactly, Cynthia. Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. And you know it. You didn't fall off the turnip truck. None of you guys did. You guys didn't just recently fall off the turnip truck. You guys know the score. You know the deal. And just because you know it doesn't make it easier to implement it. It's difficult to stand there in front of somebody that you love and stand in what you know and stand up for yourself because you feel like you're hurting them. I get it. So you do what you got to do. Number one, your safety comes first. And just make sure your decisions are made, excuse me, for you. Like, This is where putting the other person first before ourselves is what gets us into trouble, where we put the narcissist first and their needs, and oh, I'm being mean, I can't do this, and you know what? This is where we get to think of ourselves too. We ask God for healing, okay? You know, we look in the Bible and we look at the people who were healed. These people who were healed, they were turned away from loving God. They were turned away from going into the temple. And they were led astray. And they weren't permitted to go into the temple to get healing. People just judged them and left them alone. But when Jesus healed them, he healed them because of their faith, but there was something expected of them as well. Not to follow the people, the same people that got them where they ended up in the first place, the Pharisees and Sadducees. It was expected for these people who were healed to follow Jesus, not to keep going back into the place that got them hurt and maimed, and where they lost their eyesight, they lost the will to walk, or the ability to walk. They couldn't speak. And it was because they were listening to the teachings of the Pharisees and Sadducees, the false prophets, the false leaders, the false teachers of the Word of God. So they were expected to follow Jesus. But they didn't. So I say this because we want healing. We want healing from God. God cannot heal us and expect us to still stay in the same toxic environment that brought us down. God's healing is long term. See, when there was somebody in Scripture where God healed twice, it was the man Jesus told to pick up your mat and walk. And Jesus found him at the temple, sitting on the, I think he was sitting on the mat. And Jesus said, you know, kind of like, do I have to do this again? Your faith has healed you again. Pick up your mat and walk. And basically, stop coming here. Don't come here again. Don't come here. This is the place that is getting you sick, keeping you down. Follow me. Follow the disciples out there. Like, if you notice, the disciples, they went to the temple, but they went outside the temple. They were outside the temple. And they were around, like, Jesus and the 12 disciples walked around in a group around Jerusalem. And people came to them. They weren't found in the temple. And so Jesus didn't expect and doesn't expect us to ask for healing, receive healing, and stay in an environment that is toxic for us, that will take away our healing. That's not going to work. Just watching your reading your comments. Wow, Cynthia. Wow. If your body is telling you you're not safe, then you're not safe. Be around safe people. Amen, Blair. That's right. That's right. That's right. Dr. David E. Clark is such a good resource here on YouTube to help also. He has seminary degrees and physiology degree. Awesome. Thank you. So they all get caught at one point. Lies never hold up. That's right. Absolutely. So you guys, It's almost 12:30. Oh my gosh. What a way to spend our Friday night. This is awesome. So thank you, everyone. And would you guys mind if we read some scripture before we leave? So let's just, we open to Psalm. Okay, that's good. That's comforting before we go to bed. All right. So Psalm 68. For the director of music of David, a song. Oh, he sung this. May God arise, may his enemies be scattered, may his foes flee before him. Oh, this is fitting for us already. May you blow them away like smoke, as wax melts before the fire. May the wicked perish before God, but may the righteous be glad and rejoice before God. May they be happy and joyful. Sing to God, sing in praise of his name. Extol him who rides on the clouds. Rejoice before him. His name is the Lord. A father to the fatherless, a defender of widows, is God in his holy dwelling. God sets the lonely in families. He leads out the prisoners with singing, but the rebellious live in a sun-scorched land. When you, God, went out before your people, when you marched through the wilderness, the earth shook. The heavens poured down rain. Before God, the one of Sinai, before God, the God of Israel, you gave abundant showers, O God. You refreshed your weary inheritance. Your people settled in it, and from your bounty, God, you provided for the poor. The Lord announces the word, and the women who proclaim it are a mighty throng. Kings and armies flee in haste. The women at home divide the plunder. Even while you sleep among the sheep pens, the wings of my dove are sheathed with silver, its feathers with shining gold. When the Almighty scattered the kings of the land, it was like snow fallen on Mount Zalman. Mount Bashan, majestic mountain, Mount Bashan, rugged mountain. Why gaze in envy, you rugged mountain, at the mountain where God chooses to reign, where the Lord himself will dwell forever. The chariots of God are tens of thousands and thousands of thousands. The Lord has come from Sinai into his sanctuary. When you ascend on high, you took my captives. You received gifts from people, even from the rebellious, that you, Lord God, might dwell there. Praise be to the Lord, to our God Savior, who daily bears our burdens. Our God is a God who saves. From the sovereign Lord comes escape from death. Surely God will crush the heads of his enemies, the hairy crowns of those who go on in their sins. The Lord says, I will bring them from Bashan. I will bring them from the depths of the sea, that your feet may wade in the blood of your foes, while the tongues of your dogs have their share. Your procession, God has come into view. The procession of my God and King into the sanctuary. In front of are the singers, after them the musicians, with them are the young women playing the timbrels. Praise God in the great congregation. Praise the Lord in the assembly of Israel. There is the little tribe of Benjamin leading them. There the great throng of Judah's princes, and there the princes of Zebulun and Naphtali. Summon your power, God. Show us your strength, our God, as you have done before. Because of your temple at Jerusalem, kings will bring you gifts. Rebuke the beast among the reeds, the herd of bulls among the calves of the nations. Humbled may the beast bring bars of silver. Scatter the nations who delight in war. Envoys will come from Egypt. Cush will submit herself to God. Sing to God, you kingdoms of the earth. Sing praise to the Lord, to him who rides across the highest heavens and the ancient heavens, who thunders with mighty voice. Proclaim the power of God, whose majesty is over Israel, whose power is in the heavens. You, God, are awesome in your sanctuary. The God of Israel gives power and strength to his people. Praise be to God. That was Psalm Psalm chapter 68, verse 1 through 35. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, everyone. Thanks for all the links, Resistor. Thank you so much. If you guys want to, check out the links in the description of the video, or check out the links in this chat. You can email me. You can sign up for an hour-long consultation, a chit-chat with me face-to-face, and you can donate to this ministry as your donations help to keep us here, keep us growing, keep us flourishing, as we are over 2,000 subscribers as of today. So thank you, everyone. Thank you for subscribing and liking this video and sharing it, and clicking the notification bell, because we are here tomorrow at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and tomorrow at 10 o'clock Eastern, 10 o'clock in the evening, not morning, 10 o'clock in the evening, 1 o'clock in the afternoon, 10 o'clock in the evening. Twice a day for you guys, so your donations are most welcome, most appreciated. Thank you so very much. The PayPal link is in the description of this video, and also in the link in the chat also. So thank you, everyone. Oh, thank you. This was awesome. This was lovely tonight. You guys came with your questions, your comments, and you guys were talking to each other and sharing and supporting each other. That's what this channel is about. So loves to you all. God bless you, and sweet dreams. And I look forward to seeing you guys all tomorrow. Good night. God bless. And thank you for the donation, the super chat. That's awesome. Thank you so much. Good night, everyone.